Alright folks, friends, neighbors, fellow mini Bulldosians, all of you, thought I'd make this video here. Got a little bit done to it. I'm sick and tired of saying that I'm going to have the tracks on it. Every which way I turn, I run into a roadblock on the tracks. Stopped yesterday to a machine shop, talked to a metallurgy guy that said making the teeth out of these T1 steel is going to be a problem. I said, why? He said it takes he said it takes a special rod to weld to this standard strength steel wheels. He said they're very expensive rods. He said only on top of that, I'd have to heat these teeth up to 1600 degrees before I welded them to the wheel. Now, who's going to do that? There ain't nobody going to do that. But I'm about ready to scrap the notion of these T1 teeth because you don't need it no way. On a Dozer this small, and they don't even do that. I bet the teeth on an Army tank are not titanium. Very doubtful. So what I'm going to do is just buy me a regular piece of metal, cut these teeth out of, get this thing put on. I've made enough trips back and forth to the junkyard that I'm wasting enough gas that I could just go on and pay the $108 at the steel shop and get what I need to do the tracks. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of saying that I'm going to have the tracks on it. Y'all will end up thinking I'm afraid to try these tracks, and I'm fearless, man, when it comes to metal and shaping something. Many bike folks ought to know that. I'm not afraid to do these tracks. I just cannot find the metal I need to do them with. Okay, on to other things here. I got quite a bit done to it. That exhaust is off of a dirt bike. Got it at the junkyard. It's kind of acting to me like it's going to choke the motor down. It may be all in my head, and it may not be what's going to happen at all, but it acts like that. I've got to come up from either the top of the motor or down here on the frame with a bolt-on plate, then come up with a solid 3/4 inch piece of steel up, bend it out this way, then over to the bracket and bolt it. Because if you hit a tree limb or something with that, it's going to bend that little muffler up. That ain't nothing there with this little thin tubing is all that is. And that's what that right there is for. It was to sturdy it on the motorcycle, because you could just take and bend it around any way you wanted to without that bolt in it. So I'm going to have to sturdy that up. Got the hood mounted permanently, right exactly where it's going to stay. There's the brackets that I made to mount it with. My best part that I've got done lately is the clutch pedal. Go ahead and raise the hood where I can show you. I won't leave my prize rod up, my prop rod on there. That clutch pedal is off of a forklift, and talk about heavy duty, man. Superman couldn't bend that thing right there. Look at that. Almost 1 inch square, solid steel to make a dadgum clutch pedal out of. Buddy, that's overkill. Made the little triangle tree, or bracket, whatever you want to call it. Simply pushes the clutch. You push it in, simply loosens the clutch. Nothing could be simpler. I greased that real good, but I'm going to take it back off, pop a 1/4 inch hole, thread it, smaller than a 1/4 inch hole, 3/16 or something like that, thread it, grease fitting, although that don't turn far enough to really probably ever need greasing. In fact, that one right there, it's not even rotating at all. It's just pulling straight, so that would probably never wear out. Also put a little stop there to adjust how far the clutch will push. No use in it pushing any further than it has to. There you go. Works perfect. We'll crank it here in a minute and show you how quiet it is with that little muffler. Show you how good the clutch works. The seat, the seat and the hood themselves come from a Simplicity lawnmower, which that's bent right there. I've got to do some straightening right there. I just hadn't took time to do it. It's a good looking old hood. Heavy. It ain't the prettiest hood in the world, but it is heavy, buddy. I mean, heavy duty. Simplicity is a real lawnmower. Fenders and all come off the same mower. This seat's off of a big Craftsman. They gave me that down at the junkyard. It didn't cost a dime. They just threw that in with the metal and stuff I'd bought. Got one little cut right there that I can super glue or I can fix that. Got some rusty fingerprints. Then will come off in time. Alright, the seat hinges up like most of them do on a lawnmower. It's got the adjustable knob here where you can slide the seat back and forth for rider comfort, short legs, long legs, what have you. I had to put that little piece of angle iron there to give it something to set on, because the springs, the rubber mounted springs here were gone. Also made it to where it will hinge up that way. Made the brackets here real heavy, real strong. Made them to where they'll bolt on. This tractor is still completely. You can dismantle the entire thing. These brackets back here are real heavy duty. Right there's where the battery will go. Put a piece of metal across, flat metal across right there with a battery box. I'm also going to build fender wells here, box it completely in back here. Fender wells here to put chain in, tools, battery, tools over here, whatever you need. You will not be able, when I get this part finished, you will not be able to see through it like that. It'll be boxed in completely. The fender wells will come pretty close here to the tracks. Come out, down, and mount that way. And box in and be painted, hopefully to match the fenders. Got a little bit close here. I got the seat up a little higher than I wanted it to be. I did that on purpose in hopes of not having to cut it to where it would clear the tracks. Even when I get the tracks and cleats on it, if they're scrubbed right here, we know how to take a saw and trim that right there a little bit. That ain't no problem. Made this piece here to put in there to cover up. That's, you know, it sat down over the body of the lawnmower. Just made that piece. Got a little close to the gear shifter, but close only counts in horseshoes, so no problem there. Making headway on it. It's just like I say, I'm getting aggravated at my own self with these dadgum tracks. If it ain't one roadblock, it's another. Let's crank it up and let you hear how quiet it is with this little bitty muffler. And like I say, I think it's choking the motor a little bit, but it may be all in my head. Hear how quiet? It's much quieter than it was with the other muffler. Alright, going to operate the clutch and let you watch it, watch the drive shack stop spinning. Mash the clutch, drive shack stop. Let it out, start spinning. Mash it, stop. Alright, let's go into some kind of a gear. There's first. Each handle you pull. Now, if it was sitting on level ground, they would both be pulling equally. I've already explained that to you about the limited slip. I believe that first gear is going to be slow enough to satisfy me too. Pretty doggone slow, man. Pretty slow. Go back into neutral. Love the way that clutch works. So simple to do that. I'm going to have to get that gas line up out of the way. It's going to fool around and hit that belt before it's said and done. Alright guys, there you go. Making some serious headway. If I had the tracks on it right now, it is operatable. Dad burn it. Can't get the tracks. And like I said a while ago, I ain't scared of working on these tracks. I'm trying to do this as cheap as possible. You know, I really want to be able to say that everything was bought at a junkyard. May not be able to end up saying that if I had to go buy the metal. I'm going to put the starter on it. Here's a starter off of a Craftsman. Not a Craftsman, I'm sorry, but it's off of a wheel horse. Same exact thing they put on a Cub Cadet. Done oiled it, checked it, and starts good. Turn this 8-horse Briggs into an electric start. Have to mount a late model GM alternator to keep my headlights going, my backup lights, backup floodlights. I'm going to add some backup spotlights on the back, cut them in when I get the fender wells and box built back there, and we'll cut round holes for spotlights to come out of. Try to get a little bit fancy with it, not real fancy, but just try to make it nice, and I believe it's going to be nice. If I ever get through with it. The way this drain plug is now on the motor, I'm going to take that off, put a piece of pipe, drill a hole here in my side step, let it come out to where I can hold a can under there and change my oil. I'm a freak of nature when it comes to changing oil. I believe in keeping oil changed in a vehicle. That's the life of one. I've already changed out the dope in the rear end. Drained it all the old out, poured a little diesel fuel in it, rolled it some, and worked the gears, drained it all out, filled it full of fresh fluid, so that rear end is ready to go. Not a lot else to say, not on this video anyway. I believe I will. I'm for sure going to put hydraulics on the front, but on the back to lift my plow and doodads and odds and ends, I may go with that little 2,000-pound electric winch. It'd be simple to put that little bitty hydraulic lift I got over there on the back, but just require buying hoses, having hoses special made. That's when you're getting in the money. And I'll go that route before it's said and done. End up spending some money on it. And like I say, I doubt seriously I got I doubt it's got $100 in it so far. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Like I say, I'm tired of talking about the tracks. I'm ready to see action on the tracks. I want to operate it. I'm dying to operate it. Y'all have a good one, and see you next time, okay? Adios.